You know, he's another nice guy. Is Jeff Gord. He's done a lot for NASCAR. Of course, a four-time champ. He's moving in on your 84 wins, right?
He is.
He's got 82 career wins, and of course, he had the idea to put Jimmy in a car, which we'll ask him about. But great to have Jeff joining us. You're with the crazies from the Hollywood Hotel, Jeff. Hey, thanks for joining us. Thanks for being with us. Instead of asking the weather guy, let's get your view of how the track looks, what you see from the weather. You think we'll at least get this thing started?
Well, I hear track dryers. That's usually a positive sign. You know, looking at the radar, there's a little bit of a window right here. So, you know, NASCAR is going to do everything they possibly can to dry this track and get some laps run for the fans and for the competitors and everybody watching at home. So hopefully we get something going here. You know, I've seen crazier things happen. It certainly doesn't look promising, but we'll see what happens.
Jeff, you've had great success on this track. Just maybe talk about your year, where you are now, and watching what Jimmy's done. People say, hey, part of Hendrick Motorsports. You know, you had that race in Vegas where you dominated and he got you at the end. But it seems like you're onto something. How about today? Once you get out there, what do you think your car looks like?
We had a really strong car yesterday in practice. You know, we're still in test mode. We've seen firsthand what the 48 has done over the last 4 years, and you know, we're just trying to do things a little bit different this year with the DuPont Chevrolet. And while we've been great here at Martinsville in the past, we've also been getting beat a lot lately. So we're trying to do something to make sure we don't get beat, you know, especially when we come back here if we were fortunate enough to be in the chase. So we're trying some new things. Some of the things were working good yesterday, some of them weren't. But I've got a lot of confidence in Steve and our engineers and everybody that have worked overnight to put the best setup in the car for today's race or tomorrow's race, or whichever it is. And I can't wait to get the green flag going, you know, to drop the green flag and get going and see what we've got.
Hey, Jeff and Steve W., it sounds like the legacy may live on with the addition of a son to your family sometime this summer. Is he going to be a junior?
You know, we've been talking about a lot of different names. Jeff Jr. doesn't seem to be on the list. Not very high on the list, that's for sure. But you know, I think that it's just such a joy to be a parent, and I look back at my parents and how they approached you know, opportunities for me and my sister, and I just want to go about it the same way. Racing is just one of those things that happened to come along that I liked, and they recognized it, and I was fortunate enough to have parents that pursued it, and I want to do the same thing for my kids. It doesn't have to be racing. It can be you know, anything that they're passionate about.
Is Ella, is she as crazy about you know, going on vacations on your off time, you know, going scuba diving and all that with the sharks? You take Ella along for that?
I can't wait for the day to be able to take her on some of those things, because she seems pretty adventurous. Right now we have to hold her back when it comes to going to the playground, and we go to the beach sometimes, and she wants to run right into the 5-foot waves. So at least right now she seems to be gung-ho for anything.
Jeff, there's nothing wrong with the name Jeff. Just want to let you know that, okay?
Plus the last name's Hammond.
It's been good to me.
I think it's the junior part he's not happy with.
Well, I mean, we were thinking maybe Dale Earnhardt Jr. Gordon might possibly work.
I'm not too sure about that either. But the thing I'm curious about, we've been talking so much about how you take care of your car here at Martinsville. You've been running at the end of all of your 34 events since you started coming here. What was the secret of learning how to get around Martinsville, and you turned it right into a winning racetrack for yourself?
We came here and did a test. I don't know if it was my rookie year or maybe '94, and just ran a bunch of laps. You know, Ray Evernham was the crew chief, and you know, they were trying things on the car. I was trying things. I mean, I was lost. I was like a lot of guys that they come to Martinsville and you just have no idea what it takes to get around here. And we made enough laps where I started hitting on some things, and it just, the rhythm started coming. And all of a sudden, I said, oh, okay, hang on a second. I think that I've been doing this all wrong. And all of a sudden, all the things that we wanted to do, the car started working. And so ever since then, you know, we've been able to make the car do the things that I want to do. And when you've got a fast race car, it helps you be more patient. It helps you try to stay out of trouble. And you realize on a track like this, you got to be around at the end if you're ever going to have a shot at winning it. And we've been very fortunate to do that as well.
Hey, Jeff, why do guys get so pumped up, though, drivers get so pumped up about winning on the short tracks? Seems to be almost as important as winning Daytona to some guys.
Yeah, I think it just depends on how your career goes. You know, I think if you're Denny Hamlin and you come out of the box running well at Martinsville and you win at Martinsville, while it might have been exciting at the beginning, now he wants to win at Daytona. You know, he wants to win at Indy. He wants to win somewhere that, you know, seems to be the biggest challenge. And some guys, that's the short tracks. And for Jimmy Johnson at Bristol, that was one of the most challenging racetracks that he had. And you know, they went out and conquered it. So it just depends on what's on your list.
Hey, Jeff, just a couple more questions here. I saw where your stepfather, John Bickford, talked about you maybe racing, or he said you're 5 to 6 years away from retiring. I don't know if having children changes or alters that. What's your thought on how much longer you want to do this, and would another championship affect that?
Well, if this little boy we're about to have this summer decides that he wants to be a race car driver, I might be like Mark Martin and racing in my 50s. You know, I really haven't put a date on it. We had some issues with my back, and I thought, you know, that was gonna affect how long I could race. But I feel like we've really gotten through that well, and we're always continuing to progress with that. I'm in the best physical shape that I've been in a long time, if not ever. So the races aren't wearing me down like they used to. You know, things have been really going well the last couple of years, so I don't have a date on it. We're right now we're, you know, renegotiating with sponsors to lengthen our contract to continue going forward with the 24 car, and I'm excited about that. I think we've got a lot of great races and years left in us, and I'm certainly not ready to end that anytime soon.
Well, that's good news, and I know you're a good businessman as well. In fact, you had a lot to do with helping Jimmy Johnson get in a car and race. What was it? Because he didn't get a lot of early hype. What did you see that said, hey, I want this guy here? And are you sorry he's taking some championships away from you, it looks like?
I saw he was doing a lot with lesser equipment. And, you know, I said early on that if we could put a guy like Jimmy, and he was a good guy, you know, he just, you know, he came up to me and asked me for some advice. I learned right away he was a good guy, and on the racetrack, you know, he was getting it done. I mean, he finished in the top 10 in points, so that year that I was watching him, and you know, that showed me that he could bring it home, but he also could get after it when he needed to. And I was just fortunate I was in the Nationwide Series that year racing against him while we were making those decisions on a fourth team at Hendrick Motorsports. And, you know, I just said that if we can put the kind of equipment and team behind a guy like Jimmy that I've been able to have over the years, I think he's going to be successful. I didn't know he's going to be this successful, but that's been the good surprise in my opinion. You know, those guys have done a fantastic job, and it's the whole team. It's how the whole thing's been put together with Chad Knaus and all the members of that 48 Lowe's Chevrolet. You got to be impressed and give them you know, a lot of respect for what they've been able to accomplish.
All right, well, we thank you for your time. Hopefully we'll get to race it again. Congrats on the addition to the family. If it gets cold and rainy, you can come in the Hollywood Hotel and hang out if you want. All right?
You got it, guys. Thank you.
Thanks. Jeff Gordon is DuPont, Rick Hendrick Chevrolet.
I'm working on my list, too.
Yeah.
My bucket list.
Your things to do. Well, you know, the irony, like he said, I don't know Jimmy'd be this successful because Jeff Gordon won those 4 championships, but who came along in 2002? Jeff hasn't been able to win a championship, but this guy, Jimmy Johnson's won 4 in a row, working on a 5th.